I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Greetings. Happy Thursday to you all. Hope you all had a nice Wednesday. I only placed 3 bets. 2 of them lost. I won the Reds, lost the other 2. Cubs and Astros. Neither of those lineups showed up. Yeah, I think the lead story today is TV Jones has a new camera. I feel like this is the first time I've actually seen what he actually looks like.
Yeah, this is me. Guys uncovered my deepest, darkest secret last night with Sergeant Slaughter's kids, so had to get a new mic and really reveal my face this time.
Yeah,
Dipped into the trust fund.
Yeah, now that it's widely known that Sergeant Slaughter is your long lost father, it's time to for the crystal clear picture. Yep. I get it. Makes
I was
perfect
just waiting
sense.
for you guys to figure that out.
Fair enough.
We got, I think, 10 games tomorrow, 11 if you count the doubleheader, 8, 10, 11 games, 12 if you count the doubleheader. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. This is game 1 of the doubleheader. This game was supposed to be played today. David Peterson against Charlie Morton. The Mets historically have done well against Charlie Morton, but this year's Charlie Morton is pitching better. Also throws that huge curveball, which the Mets have had problems with from time to time. I mean, I've been saying it. I think the Mets are going to start hitting on this road trip. It looked to be correct in the first game of this series, but we don't have much of a sample size. Obviously, it's a doubleheader. I didn't spend a ton of time on it. If you guys want to talk about it at all.
It would be like if I had to play. I'm not going to bet this because it is a doubleheader, and I don't bet doubleheaders. It would be first 5 like under 5.5, just because, like Kyle said, Morton doesn't have great history against the Mets. It's not over. I mean, going back to 2023, he's had 5 starts against them. He got slaughtered in 2. He was fantastic in 3. So take that for what it's worth. Regardless, he hasn't seen him this year, and Charlie Morton over his last 7 starts has been pretty damn good. And then as far as David Peterson goes, 2 bad starts on the road at Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. I don't really think that that's the guy that you're going to continue to see from David Peterson. He went 7 innings, 3 runs against the Dodgers, and 7 innings, 3 runs against Atlanta as well in his last 4 road starts, including those Pittsburgh and Philadelphia starts. So I just feel like this number is a little bit too high because of the weather. We saw I cashed the over in the first game of this series only because the Mets scored a whole bunch of runs late. So I do think that the starters can pitch well, kind of like they did in the first game of this series, and we may see some runs on these lackluster bullpens.
So HVAC in the comments asked how I did on that big Tuesday slate. Pretty much break even. I went 4-4-1 with my 9 bets. In fact, the game that robbed me of what should have been a winning day was the Twins Cubs under. I still can't believe that didn't hit. So Toast said first 5 under or pass. You can get a 5.
And the Phillies, that was that day, right?
Yeah, and the Phillies, yeah. So as a
Those
whole,
2 killed you.
yeah, as a whole, the picks did pretty well, but I actually just ended up breaking even because of a couple of heartbreaks at the end. What do you think, TV Jones?
Yeah, I kind of like Baltimore at this price. Morton's been really good lately. Well, really good, maybe a little excessive, but he's been pretty good. Mets, yeah, they've looked all right, but something with Baltimore, like their bats are starting to wake up. Morton's been good. I know it's game 1. Everyone's gonna bet this game. You're getting the Mets at an affordable price. I just feel like Baltimore shows up here. Morton is fine. I mean, we just saw Brandon Young look damn good against the Mets the other night. So why can't Charlie Morton do it tomorrow? Uncle Charlie with that curveball coming to wipe this lineup down. So I'm going to play Baltimore at plus 115 more than likely on the money line tomorrow. I'll have another play for this Cubs Twins game coming up, but I'm staring at this. I'm going to see what this line does and potentially play Baltimore tomorrow.
What a segue. You mentioned you had a play in the Cubs Twins game, so go ahead. Take it away, TV Jones, Cubs Twins.
Yeah, Twins money line. Cubs are spiraling right now. This team cannot hit. They cannot score. The Twins are finding a way to get it done. I mean, PCA can't even get on base. Like if he's
I'm
not
playing his hits, runs, and RBIs just because you said that tomorrow. Thank you.
Be my guest. I'd really like to see you not. There we go, Angels. Come on, get into Angels tied up. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go. But yeah, Cubs aren't hitting. I know this price opened up at like minus 105 or 110 or whatever, but it's moving the other way. I think a lot of people are going to be betting the Cubs just because the Cubs have looked good all first half of the season. Twins are a team that nobody really likes because they're so schizophrenic, but I feel like the Twins can get this done tomorrow. Padlock will be fine. This offense, they had multiple chances tonight, only got 4, but it doesn't matter. They still won by 2. Cubs are just struggling, so I'm going to take the Twins at home. Bold prediction, I think the Cubs are going to actually give up the division lead or have let it be tied basically with the Brewers by the time the All-Star break comes in. I am full fading the Cubs going into the All-Star break right now.
Bold prediction there. I mean, it's almost like
a game and a half back.
If only somebody had warned us that the Cubs fans shouldn't react earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Who could have said
or
that?
If somebody was giving away Brewers 7-8 to 1 on the NL Central there.
By the way, that comment is correct. Most likely no Buxton for the Twins. I think the move in this one would be to do what Spoon did. Spoon texted me about this one probably around 6 p.m. So, like, I was in the middle of something. I kind of didn't even see it. I was just like, oh, he's texting me about the Cubs, whatever. And then I looked at it like 4 hours later. It was a text from me to me telling me he's betting the Cubs at minus 105. So it's already moved 20 cents. In my opinion, if you liked the Cubs, you kind of missed it. It was at a pick. Spoon has a minus 105. Now that it's at minus 123, it pains me to say I kind of think the move would just be weighted out, and if you can get like a Twins plus 115, plus 120, maybe play Twins at the tail end, I'll put Twins up, but I'm not betting it at the current number. I think the move was grab the Cubs early, and if you didn't get it, maybe wait and grab a late Twins at a much better number, hopefully. Toast?
Cubs team total over 4.5 minus 130. So I don't think that they win this game. I think if they win this game, I don't think they're going to win like a 2 or 3 run baseball game. The weather's going to be just fine in Target Field. There's going to be some wind blowing in a little bit, but I mean, it's still going to be 81 degrees at a decent day. And Padlock, I love him. He's a guy that's really done well for me in the past, but he isn't really going deep into games. 5 innings, 2-run run against Tampa Bay at home. Seattle hit him up for 4 runs in 5 innings at home. He looked somewhat decent against Toronto back at the beginning of last month, where he went 6 innings, only gave up 2 runs. But he hasn't been like untouchable at home, especially over his last 3 starts. Not to mention the fact the Twins aren't going to have Duran, Stewart, and Danny Columbi all going to be on back-to-back days as well. So we're going to have 9 full at-bats with one of the best offenses in Major League Baseball right now. They might be spiraling, but I was reading the papers that the Cubs have this game circled. So Cubs team total over 3.5.
Dude, we're putting a ban. That phrase isn't allowed on the channel anymore. You're not allowed to have games circled.
If the Cubs are circling the Twins, they have serious problems.
Bro, you as a Brewers fan, you have every game circled. So you beat the phrase.
We're 4-1 in circled games this year, man. What can I say?
In circled games, in made-up circled games.
They were big games. One last note. I mean, with Buxton not going to be in, there could be be another lefty in there, and they're going to have Castro, Larnach, Brooks, Lee, Matt Wallner, and Clemens all lefty, and looks Lee and Castro can switch hit. And you look at Rea versus lefties this season. I mean, he's got a 5.74 FIP, 5.86 expected ERA. Like, lefties kill him. So the fact that over half the lineup is going to be could hit from the left side is going to be trouble for them also.
Next up is Marlins Reds, and look, I've talked about it several times. The Marlins hit on the road. That is true. We all as a group have cashed several nice plus money tickets with the Marlins on the road, and I'll show you the numbers here. It's pretty clear that we could trust this Marlins lineup on the road. So why did I bet the Reds today? Because they had a lefty on the mound, and as good as the Marlins have been on the road, they can't hit lefties, and the Reds are throwing another lefty out there. It was Abbott today. Now it's Lodolo, and as nice looking as this graphic is, I can't trust the Marlins against a lefty until they show me they can hit a lefty. So I can't really trust the Marlins to score runs. On the other side, though, Cal Quantrill's been surprisingly pretty efficient. I mean, the Brewers got to him, but he pitched a great game against Arizona. Granted, Arizona has lefties, which he's good at. Reds are a little bit mixed. There'll be plenty of righties in the lineup. But, I mean, like, these game logs aren't that bad from Cal Quantrill. If I'm laying minus 186, I saw a minus 172. I almost took it. It would only be the Reds, but just way too expensive. So it just Reds or pass for me.
How does 165 sound?
You can get a minus 165 right now.
Bet 365 on New Jersey. That's the bet that I'm making. Kyle pretty much said everything I wanted to say. I think I was probably one of the first guys in the train trying to talk about how Kyle Quantrill has been more than feasible. He just doesn't go deep into games, and that's the issue. He's literally, I mean, if he gets it past the 5th inning, that's like a super long start for Cal Quantrill. So, and as far as Nick Lodolo's go, and I don't really trust that Miami bullpen in general. So, and Kyle talked about them versus left-handed pitching. And if there was one thing that we stayed away from Lodolo was, at least in the beginning of the year, was when he was pitching at home. His last four home starts have been pretty good. I think Kyle mentioned the Arizona start with a whole bunch of lefties in there. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. But Minnesota, the Yankees, and the Padres, he went 15 innings, only gave up 4 runs to those 4 teams, which are all pretty decent teams, much better than the Marlins. So I just think this is, again, I think that at 165, it's an affordable price for the Reds. I wouldn't get into the 180s, but 165, I bet 365, I'm in.
Yeah. By the way, bet 365 is minus 185 right now. So,
okay, sorry guys.
TV Jones.
Yeah, I like the Reds minus 1.5. I might even take Lodolo record win. I feel like they're just baiting you to take Miami with this price. You know, Miami didn't show up today, but they've looked damn good the last month or so on the road. And Lodolo's a guy people like to fade, but lefties, Marlins haven't done shit. I mean, Eduardo Rodriguez 1 earned through 5 1/3. I mean, they've gotten 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4 off Luzardo. 2 off Gore, 6 off Mitchell Parker, 1-0, 1-0, 5 off Kyle Hart, 0-0, 2-1. They really struggle versus lefties, home or on the road. I think Lodolo, this is a good spot for him to get back right and actually just shove it home. And the fact that we're getting a good price with the Marlins just kind of feels baity. So and Cincinnati scored some runs today. I think maybe that roller coaster that their offense does, they had 1 run the last 4 or 5 games, was at the bottom. Now I think might be starting to climb up. I think they can get to Quantrill and score some runs here tomorrow. So it'd be Reds minus 1.5 or Lodolo record win. Not sure how I'm going to play it yet, but I will be on the Reds one way or another. Yeah,
I'm not betting this. The fair price is probably minus 190, so I would need like a minus 165 for it to be a valuable bet. Minus 185, I can't say that's a profitable bet to make. Mariners, what?
Just play the minus 1.
I don't think minus 1 is a good bet. Mariners on the road in New York to play the Yankees. I said this when this series started. I got conned into that Mariners bet in the first game of the series. I got conned into it. I think these lineups are trending in opposite directions, honestly. The Yankees bats seem to be waking up, and the Mariners bats seem to be doing the complete opposite. They do have a significant starting pitching advantage here, and as much as you'd like to poke holes in Brian Wu on the road, you guys know we like to fade Brian Wu on the road. I mean, this dude's been rock solid, so it's kind of tough to take Marcus Stroman at not even that big of a price. I mean, a plus 100 against Brian Wu. Show you how good Brian Wu has been. It's been impressive. 6 shutout innings against the Pirates. On the road in Texas, 6 shutout innings. On the road in Minnesota, 6 innings, 7 base runners, just 2 runs, 7 shutout innings against the Red Sox. I mean, we're talking 4 starts where he's been awesome. So it would only be Yankees because I think we're talking about a lineup that's trending upwards. And just to show you, it reflects in the numbers too. In the last 2 weeks, the Mariners are flirting with the idea of being a bottom 10 lineup, flirting with the idea of being a bottom 10 lineup against right-handed pitching. Meanwhile, we've been talking about how cold the Yankees are. Well, you know what? They're back. They're second in WRC plus in the last 2 weeks. The Yankees are freaking hitting, and the Mariners really aren't. So, I mean, if you take a step back, the Yankees at home with a hotter lineup at plus 100, I don't know. And by the way, Stroman hasn't looked that bad. I can't do it, but it would only be Yankees money line for me.
Over 9 for me. Just going to keep on. It's rinse and repeat in this series for me. This one took me about 10 minutes to cap. I mean, Stroman is, coming off of, I guess, a couple decent starts against the A's and the Mets. But he still gave up 3 runs in 5 innings against the Mets. And tomorrow, in another really good day as far as weather is concerned in the Bronx, with a Seattle team that, they haven't done anything versus righty starters against Will Warren and Paul Skeens and Mike Burrows and Seth Lugo. But they got to Lorenzen, they got to Waka. I think this is a decent time for the Seattle Mariners to score some runs here today. And then as far as Brian Woo's concerned, I'm not going to poke holes at him or anything like that. He's been really good. I would say that his last couple starts, I think we're getting a decent price. I mean, because those last couple starts, with Pittsburgh and Texas, sooner and Boston is another one. It's a no, we didn't give up any runs. Like, I don't just feel like he's going to continue to go out there and pitch 6 innings scoreless. And if he does that against this Yankees team that's essentially scoring 6 or 7 runs a night over the last week and a half, then so be it. But I think both teams are more than capable of scoring runs tomorrow. We hit this over easy again today as a group. And last night's show, I think all 3 of us had this over. I'm going right back to it. I think it's going to be 9.5 tomorrow.
No, we did. Oh, never mind. I wasn't on the show, so maybe you all did. What about TV Jones?
Yeah, I like that over, and I didn't even bet it. It pissed me off, but it would be over for me as well. Or Mariners money line. I kind of like both. Might do a little double dip ski. In this one, the Yankees can score runs. The bullpen also gives it up. Stroman also. I know he just came back. This will be his third start back, but versus righties this season. Where you at? Versus at home this year, he's going to have the lowest xFIP on the board tomorrow, 6.17 and a 6.63 expected ERA. But versus lefties, he's sitting there with a 4.78 xERA and a 4.36 xFIP. And then versus righties, it's even worse. He's got a 6.79 xERA and a 6.58 xFIP. I know the Mariners have looked a little hit or miss lately, but if they can't hit Marcus Stroman, they've got some serious issues. But I think they can get to Stroman. I think Wu will be fine. He just got announced to the All-Star game. I don't think I think they'll probably limit him in some form or capacity, but I think Angels 2-run bomb.
There you go. Okay,
and then,
TV Jones.
Free. And then Stroman's knock on wood. Stroman's just not been sharp. He had one good outing against the A's. Other than that, he gives up runs left and right. So maybe just I would go first 5, but I have no problem with the Yankees going against the Yankees bullpen. So it would be Seattle money line in the over 9 for me. I think Woo's going to be fine. I think Stroman's going to give it up, and this is a spot for Seattle to really bombard the Yankees pitching staff tomorrow.
Next. Finally, a game I bet. I only have 2 bets open right now, by the way, guys. It's Thursday, not a ton of action. And I was looking at these. I really was struggling to find.
I've only got 3.
Yeah, it's not there's a lot of interesting games, but I think the markets are pretty efficient in a lot of these. Like that Reds number, -185, that's pretty on the money. There's a few of them that I looked at where it's like, I think that White Sox +114, I think that's on the money too. But this one, I think this number's off. I got the Red Sox at -102. Which I think is going to be a nice ticket to be holding. I bet you this one closes at -120, -125. The Rays are turning back into the team that we think they are. They had a really nice hot streak there. We're swinging the bat well, but, let's take a step back. They're losing baseball games, and the idea that the Rays are just such a better team than the Red Sox is kind of crazy. They're only a game and a half up. I think the Red Sox are going to be ahead of the Rays in the standings at the end of this series. So I got the better team at home at -102. Yes, Tampa definitely has the starting pitching advantage. I would take Taj Bradley over Walker Buehler, and Walker Buehler's definitely been shaky. But the Rays' bats have not looked the same recently. In addition to losing some games, specifically, they're just not getting to right-handed pitchers like they were earlier, like they were a few weeks ago. Look at the last several righties they've seen. They didn't get to Jack Flaherty, didn't get to Keider Montero, didn't get to Joe Ryan, didn't get to Chris Paddock. They got to Mitch Spence a little bit. JT Ginn, 3 2/3 shutout. That was out of the bullpen, though, I believe. Didn't get to Dean Kramer. This Rays lineup is just not really hitting. And if you're wind back month and a half ago, this Rays team, remember, we liked the lineup at home, but this lineup was almost an auto fade on the road. Obviously, that's like ancient history now because they went on that hot streak, but they're kind of turning back into it. I don't trust this Rays lineup right now. I actually think Walker Buehler could pitch well, and if you look at Walker Buehler's stuff, He's kind of been everywhere. These numbers look terrible, but on the road. If you just look at his home starts, I mean, he got hit up by Toronto. Toronto was hitting up every single righty they saw. The home start before that was the Rays, and he pitched great through 7 innings. Home start before that, Baltimore, he pitched great. I don't know. I think it might be a little bit of a buy low on Walker Buehler. And on the other side, Taj Bradley has looked shaky, man. I mean, 3 of his last 4 starts, he had this one good one on the road in Kansas City. Everyone pitches well against the Royals in that ballpark. 3 of their last 4 starts have been pretty shaky for Taj Bradley. So, like I said, I think I'm getting the better team at home with a red-hot lineup, in case you haven't been following baseball. Boston's killing the ball right now. I'll show you that. This is the best lineup in baseball in the last couple weeks. First in every single category in the last 14 days against right-handed pitching. First in every single category at home. First in every single category. So they're hitting the ball. Minus 102. I think this is going to be a nice ticket to hold when the game starts.
I don't know, Trevor, if you bet this. I only have a lean, so if you bet it, you can go. But
I didn't bet it, but it would be Tampa Bay, to be honest. I don't trust Walker Buehler as far as I can throw him. Not Tampa Bay, over. Sorry. I don't trust Walker Buehler as far as I can throw him, and Boston can load down with lefties. And Taj Bradley, last 60 plate appearances versus lefties, 12 and 2/3 inning. I mean, he's got a 5.92 xERA, a 4.95 xFIP, almost a 12% walk rate and a sub 17% strikeout rate. Like, he can't get lefties out either. Walker Buehler, just abysmal. You never know what he's going to get. But, I mean, his good outings have come early in the year when he played just had this up. It was the White Sox. He went 2 1/3 against the Mets. I believe that was a rain out. Baltimore couldn't hit. They still got 2 off of him.
Remember? He got ejected for 10
Oh, that was that game. Okay,
yeah.
Yep. The ejection game. And then St. Louis got him for 5. Toronto won. White Sox won. Baltimore, who couldn't hit at the time, too. I mean, other than that, Rays busted him up for 3. Toronto got him for 4 again at home. Like, he's just been terrible. So it would be over 9 for me. I know it's a divisional game, and we got traveling, but I still think runs can be scored. I know wind's blowing in about 5 miles an hour, too, with a little bit of overcast. But no, like they just slept walk through the Colorado series, scored 1 million runs. I think Buehler's going to give it up. I think the offense will be fine versus Bradley, but if I had to pick a side, I think Tampa at the end of the game is going to find themselves on top. But I like the over more than anything.
Toast?
It would be Boston team total over 4.5 at plus 100 if I had to make a bet. I'm just not in love with this Boston bullpen, and I don't want to be. I agree with Kyle that I think that the idea that Walker Buehler is like super bad is kind of like a little bit of a fallacy. I mean, over his last 7 starts, only 2 of them have been at home. One of them, like we talked about, Toronto, he got destroyed, and then the Rays start. But I mean, also the previous home starts before that, I mean, it was this Rays team, Baltimore, the Mets. I mean, yes, Chicago back in April doesn't matter, but the other teams that he faced are upper echelon teams, at least teams that are vying for playoff spots. So the reason that I wanted to focus on just them and not the over in general is just because this Rays offense is just so hit or miss. Yes, they put up 7 a day. They cashed a nice 132 ticket for me. I'm super happy for them. But previous to that, it's 2-1, 5-3, 6, 3-4, 1. I mean, 11. It's like really hit or miss. And the 7-run game in Minnesota and a 3-run game in Oakland were both extra inning games. So I just don't really trust this Rays offense at all. So I don't know if I can trust the Red Sox just to continue to score in a divisional game like this. That's the only thing that's throwing me off a little bit, but it would only be the Red Sox to score a win.
I actually bet this, by the way. Oh, you have the Red Sox over. I thought he said under. That's why I was listening. I was like, he sounds like he's talking about an over. Oh, what's the price on that?
Plus 100.
I don't hate that. I honestly think Walker Buehler's going to pitch well.
Yeah, the Rays are just, It's hard to get a read on them sometimes.
Rays have had this series circled. That's why they kind of slept walk through the
stop.
When are we going to get the this game with circle t-shirts?
Cleveland on the road in Chicago. Oh, yeah, there's voice chat picks. I got to 1 sec. Let's get caught up on the voice chat picks here. Well, get this poll up real quick. All right. Voice chat picks. All right. So in the Cubs-Twins game, Spoon's on the Cubs money line. Jacob's on the Cubs money line. OT's on the under. Did we do the Cubs Twins game? Oh, yeah. Charles is on the under. Boba's on Cubs first 5 running line. Adams on Twins first 5 team total under 2.5. Gabs on the Cubs first 5 run line with Colin Rea. Next game, Marlins Reds. Jacobs on Reds -1. Trevor's on Reds -1.5. Adams on the under 9.5. I don't hate that under. What held me off was the weather. Beautiful weather in Cincinnati. Otherwise, I kind of agree with this. The weather kept me from betting it. I was close there. OT's on Lodolo under 5.5 strikeouts. Charles is on the Marlins money line. What else is new? Mariners Yankees. Jacobs on over 8.5, and we got an over 8.5 and an over 9. I'm seeing 9.5s out there. Adams on Mariners. Boba's on Mariners money line as well. Rays Red Sox. I'm on Boston. Jacobs on the over or Rays first 5. All right. Cleveland on the road in Chicago. I mean, I would love to take the White Sox here, but one, I'm not trying to stand in front of Cleveland if they're starting to get hot. I mean, a few days ago I was saying I expect Cleveland to play pretty well down the stretch, so fading them right here and taking the White Sox would kind of be just going against what I said just a few days ago entering that Houston series. I thought Cleveland was going to start playing well. Obviously, it looks like that might be true. I don't love the spot flying out of Houston up to Chicago. The White Sox, look, I'm not going to try to tell you the White Sox lineup is good against lefties, but they've been better against lefties than they have been against righties. I guess White Sox are past, but like I'm looking for like a plus 130 at plus 114. I think the numbers I think the market's about efficient here. I would need like a plus 130 to actually place the bet. So White Sox are past, but nah.
Over 8.5 for me. I think a couple of things here. We'll start with the White Sox and their offense. They cashed a nice ticket. They cashed a nice ticket for me today against another left-hander today. And Eric Lauer. They also hit well off of Clayton Kershaw as well. Robbie Ray Rodriguez all pitched well against them, but I mean they're still getting runs off of other guys like Framber Valdez, Matthew Boyd, Nick Lodolo. So I do trust them to score a couple runs tomorrow off of Logan Allen, who hasn't been anything special. He's coming off probably the best start of his season at home against Detroit, where he went 6 innings and he only gave up 1 run. But previous to that, I mean, he went 5 1/3 in San Francisco, gave up 2, 3 2/3 in Detroit, gave up 4. He really hasn't been tested on the road. A Minnesota start on the road, he only went 3 innings. So, and I bring that up because not that the Cleveland bullpen was overworked today, but coming into today, Clase had worked 3 days in a row. Hunter Gaddis had worked 3 days in a row. Kate Smith had worked 2 of the last 3 days. Their bullpen had been extremely taxed. So only Junis and Sewald, I think, went today. I don't have it in front of me, but from what I remember, I think those are the only 2 arms that went. But regardless, those guys are still not in a great situation. So probably they're all going to be available because it is Cleveland. But I do think that Chicago can score some runs off this team. And then as far as the Cleveland offense goes, I think they kind of hit a little bit of a spark in Houston. I will give you it's the juice box, so you never really know, but it's decent weather. And Jonathan Cannon hasn't really been great this year. He's coming off of 2 pretty decent starts against San Francisco and Colorado, 2 offenses that aren't really great. Sure, the Cleveland offense hasn't been great, but I think they're turning a corner right now, over 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they are. And like I said, I do expect Cleveland to play better down the stretch, but it's going to take more than a couple of good offensive games in that Houston ballpark. I mean, this was the worst lineup in baseball for a month straight. Mm-hmm. They were terrible against righties, against lefty. They were the worst lineup in baseball. So I think before I start laying juice on the road, I'm going to need to see more from Cleveland.
I didn't want to lay any juice. I thought that price was kind of sketchy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it's about right. What do you think, TV Jones?
No, Toe said it. Its price is sketchy as fuck, and it's already come down a little bit. At least for me, it has. It was 121. Now it's 118.
The Guardians were just plus 185 the other day.
No, I get what you're saying. I mean, I get that, but this price is sketchy as fuck.
I think that was Connor Brown, though.
Yeah, it was. But you got Cleveland coming off of did they sweep or won 2 out of 3 or whatever against Houston? Yeah, they swept them in Houston. Oh, damn. It's right below your feet, you idiot. Sorry. They're sweeping. Now they're flying up to Chicago. Now they got to play the White Sox, and they're only laying 130. Like, that is sketchy as hell. And not to mention, while you were talking toast, the dogs was barking. Put up the White Sox for me. I'm real close to betting this. I want to, but I'm going to be so mad at myself when I bet the White Sox and they lose like 6-3 or something. But I can't bet Cleveland at this price. No, thank you. It is what it is. And then, I mean, if you look at, so versus lefties against for Cannon, I mean, he's got a 575 FIP, but his xFIP is 382. Like he's due some positive progression. And I think this spot for Cleveland with them traveling could be a spot potentially. So give me White Sox. I might bet this.
Toast, they were plus 145 the first day, but they got bet down to plus 110. Remember?
Oh, that's right, because I got that. Oh, that COV.
Yeah. So, and then the game today, what were they? Like plus one?
Like plus 130, I think. Or something like that.
Well, the Astros closed at minus 160. So they were pretty heavy underdogs throughout that whole series. So. Nats Cardinals. I bet this one. Not crazy about the bet. We'll see. I took the Nats. I think it closed at like plus 108-ish. So hopefully should be sitting on a nice ticket come start of the game. Do we think that St. Louis has the pitching advantage with Michaelis? Because I'd say no. No. Also, someone mentioned in the voice chats that Soroka's one of the names that's in discussions for being traded at the break. So, I mean, he might be auditioning to try to get a World Series ring here.
That's what they said about Sandy today. And look how that worked out.
So the Nats bats, they haven't been great, but they haven't been that bad. In the last 2 weeks, they're an average lineup. I mean, these numbers aren't that bad. On the road, though, that's where we like to back these Nats bats. They're much better on the road than they have been all season. This is actually a top 10 road lineup in the last 30 days. It's Michaelis. What can't Michaelis do? Get lefties out. The Nationals are loaded with lefties. There should be 7 lefties in the lineup. You got a 366 WOBA, 503 xFIP. So the Nats on the road where they're better against Michaelis, who struggles against lefties, should be fine. Nats should score runs. And on the other side, look, not that Soroka's been great, but there are some decent starts out in here. I mean, he pitched great on the road in LA against the Angels, which is a tough out nowadays. Here's a solid start. It's against the Rockies. Went into Dodger Stadium, pitched a solid one. I mean, great game against the Rangers. Look, Soroka's not a great pitcher, but I think we have the starting pitching advantage here with the Nats. And this Cardinals lineup, now we know it's not going to stay like this. They're going to come out at some point, but they haven't been good. In the last 30 days, this is one of the worst home lineups in baseball. I mean, they have been a little bit better against righties than lefties, but in the last 30 days, overall, this is a bottom 10 lineup. So I just think this closes at plus 108, plus 105, so plus 120. I actually got a plus 124 is the ticket I'm holding. That should be a nice-looking ticket to be holding tomorrow. Toast?
I'll just go really quick. Same type of thing. I said I didn't want to deal with Soroka. Nats team total over 3.5, minus 140. It's going to be close to 85, 90 degrees tomorrow with minimal wind. And like Kyle mentioned, you have Michaelis, who really struggles versus left-handed bats. Nationals have finally started to get a little bit of life in their bats over the last couple of games, especially here in St. Louis. I don't expect Michaelis to continue to give up 6 and 8 runs every time out, but I think he's definitely good for 5 innings, 3 runs, give or take, in this one. So, I just didn't want to play the over because I don't trust his Cardinals bats. So I don't know if I agree with Soroka pitching well, but I do agree that I don't trust these Cardinals bats, especially at home over the last month. So I bet this too. Nats team total over 3.5.
What about TV Jones?
Yeah, I'm with you. Washington money line. Put some faith in the Cards today. Got him minus 105. That got some massive CLV, and they didn't even show up to the ballpark today. They got absolutely pounded. I know it was Mackenzie Gore, but they have great numbers versus them, and they couldn't do anything. They've seen them a bunch. I know Soroka's not been great, like you said, but the Nats bats they're cooking. Laying minus 145 with Miles Michaelis is crazy unless they're playing the Rockies, and then maybe you can talk me into it. But it would be Washington or nothing for me in this one. They're starting to cook. St. Louis just looks dead. They look like they're ready for the All-Star break, and they're just going to coast on in. So that's it for me. Washington money line and cash the Angels. Let's go.
Angels won.
Only needed 11 runs and a Kyle Hendricks start to win.
Well, I like the over in that game. That should hit like an hour and a half ago.
19 runs.
Yeah. Braves Athletics. This was a interesting one. I was really surprised. Oh, let's get caught up on the voice chat real quick. And the reason I want to get caught up on the voice chat because I was surprised at some of the rhetoric in there. One is Adam's Digest was big on the Braves, and a couple other people were jumping on the Braves team total over. Let's bring up the voice chat picks first, and then we can talk about it. So we left off on Rays, Red Sox. In the Guardians White Sox game, Benji's on White Sox team total over 3.5. Jacob Charles on Cleveland money line. In the game we just talked about, just watched it across the board. And in this one, I actually thought there were more people taking the Braves than this. It looks like it's just Adam and Jacob. There were more people speaking up in the voice chat. Maybe they didn't actually submit the picks in. But people like the Braves to get to JP Sears. They were talking about how the Braves snapped out of the slump today. They scored 9 runs. JP Sears
had a righty on the mound.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so that was my retort. What you just said. So
okay.
They were saying the Braves snapped out of it today. They scored 9 runs. It's supposed to be beautiful weather, like 102 degrees with wind blowing out. So they're expecting the Braves to smack JP Sears. I'm not even saying I disagree, by the way. So I wasn't like, oh, how could you do that? Or I'm not even saying I disagree. Completely understand. I could completely see the Braves scoring 15 runs in this game off JP Sears. Here's the problem, and Toast just said it. I don't know how you could trust the Braves against a lefty arm right now. I mean, when's the last time the Braves got to a lefty? It's been a while. I mean, they didn't get to Jeffrey Springs in this same ballpark like 36 hours ago. That just happened.
How quickly we forget.
that just happened. Jeffrey Springs blanked this Braves lineup.
And I will give you, sorry to interrupt you, I will give you Acuna came back today, but still, that doesn't change everything versus lefties. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Spoon was alluding to that he wouldn't even be surprised if Acuna doesn't even play tomorrow. So Jeffrey Springs, 6 innings, just 1 earned run, 7 base runners. They couldn't get to Trevor Rogers, didn't really get to Kikuchi, couldn't get to Tyler Anderson, didn't get to Ranger Suarez, Luzardo, David Peterson, Austin Gomber, Garrett Crochet. It's been many moons since the Braves have gotten to a lefty. Now, all that being said, if there was ever a time for the Braves to snap out of their slump against lefties, it's a beautiful 103-degree day with wind blowing out against freaking JP Sears. So, I get it. But at this current price, you take into consideration that the after this game, the Braves immediately travel to St. Louis to play a more important series against the Cardinals. No days off. Toronto, I mean, the A's don't have to go anywhere. They stay home. So you add that in, it would only be the A's at this number. I can't do it, though, because, I mean, the Braves could smoke Sears, but they're going to have to show me they can hit a lefty before I put any money on them to do so.
So we just talked about the Braves can't hit lefties and stuff like that. So what I'm saying really doesn't make sense, but it would only be, if I'm not betting this, but it would only be over 10 for me. The only reason I say that is, yes, the Braves haven't scored off a lefty since Reagan was in office. All that nonsense. I 100% agree with. Can't take anything away from it. But we also have JP Sears, who we know is god awful, and he's coming off back-to-back starts of his life on the road in Yankee Stadium, where he went 5 2/3, didn't give up a run. At home against San Francisco, where he didn't give up a run. And Kyle mentioned this a couple times as well. If there's a spot for the Braves to get right, it's going to be tomorrow versus JP Sears. But I'm also not completely convinced. I know that Spencer Strider has good splits versus righties and not so much versus lefties. Only a couple lefties in that lineup. But Butler and Kurtz are pretty decent. And Spencer Strider on the road really hasn't been that impressive on the course of the season. Almost a 4.7 ERA almost. The whip is there, but the xFIP is high. The hard hit percentage is high. And it's really, I mean, the Mets, San Francisco, Philadelphia, I mean, it's really hasn't been super impressive. I mean, he's coming off of back-to-back home starts where he looked decent. I just think that there's a possibility that he gives up some runs tomorrow versus this Oakland team that started to catch fire a little bit. Obviously, not so much tonight, but it would only be over. I think it's 10 for a reason. I don't think it's just because it's the ballpark and it's hot tomorrow. I think that both these guys can hit up. I'm not going to bet it, but I do think it's 10 for a reason.
TV Jones.
Yeah, I kind of want to bet the A's money line with you. I mean, Spencer Strider at a fairly affordable Spencer Strider price is going to be tempting, and especially after what people just saw the Braves do tonight. But like Toe said, he's not been sharp on the road this year. I just moved the freaking page. He's given up runs. I mean, he had a good outing against Colorado. I think it was the Mets or something, and then there was one other. Otherwise, he's given up like anywhere from like 3 to like 5 runs this year. I mean, it's not like he's invincible this year. He's still kind of figuring it out after the injury. And the A's at home, we know they can hit, they can bat. It would be A's money line or A's over 4.5 at even money is how I would do this. I think the A's are going to be fine. I think they bounce back. I think the Braves are riding high, and then they still have to. It's a getaway day, so they have to fly to St. Louis after that too. So they've got more important things on their plate than beating up the Athletics here. So I think the A's can get this one done and get to Strider in that bullpen a little bit.
Next, Rangers Angels. I mean, copy and paste what I've said the last this entire series. Blind over. The Angels are hitting, and the Rangers lineup is coming back around. Said that same thing for 2 straight days. Same thing again. Blind over.
Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Angels here, where were they? They got a 92 WRC plus versus lefties last 3 weeks, but they're hitting the ball fucking hard. 39.1% with a where's the fly ball with a 40% fly ball rate too. I mean, weather-wise tomorrow it's going to be blowing out 86 degrees. I think they can get to Corbin. Kind of like the Kenley Jansen went tonight, so that definitely hurts. But Texas has been scoring lately. Angels are scoring. It would be over for me if in this game. If I had to pick a side, it would be the Angels. But I think Corbin's going to get hit up. I think Kakanowitz obviously going to get hit up. Not to mention it's going to be gorgeous weather, wind blowing out, and both offenses are hitting, and some of the high leverage arms are used up in both bullpens here. So give me the over in this game.
Toast.
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Just to put a little context to some of the things, Kakanowitz doesn't really go deep into games. He's going to give you maybe 5 innings of 2 or 3 run baseball on a good day for him. And this Rangers offense versus right-handed starters starting to come around. 5 off of Soriano, 6 off of Kolick. Randy Vasquez, the young goat, pitched well against them, of course. But Sagano, they destroyed. Brandon Young, they got 3 and 4 innings off of. So this Texas offense is starting to come around. And then as far as Patrick Corbin is concerned, he's been really solid. I think that everybody knows that. He's pretty much given you an average of 6 innings in 3-run baseball, which is pretty damn decent, and most teams will take that. And then the Angels versus lefties. I mean, Lauer, Mitchell Parker, I mean, it's 11 innings, only 5 runs. I mean, Garrett Crochet, I was at that game, pitched a gem against them. They still ended up hitting 2 home runs in the 7th and 9th inning to win that game. They got 7 off of Brandon Walters, 3 off of Rodon, a couple off of Yarbrough as well in 5 1/3. So not to mention the fact, like Trevor mentioned, Texas used multiple guys out of their bullpen today. I don't know if I actually bet it, but it would only be over for me.
Yeah, I'm not betting it. I'm pissed because I didn't bet today's. So let's move on. All right, next up is Arizona, San Diego. Did that game get over for you, Toast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Fark got it just exposed tonight. Didn't he?
Did my over hit?
No,
I posted on
I
Twitter.
thought Fark was pitching well.
No, he did. He pitched 8 innings. I posted on Twitter. I posted. I said, "Nice work tonight. Nice work tonight, Brandon. I will die on the hill knowing you're average. Tonight you were excellent. Still hit my over though. Send. That was it.
What about Eduardo? Padres get to him?
I think it's same thing as tonight, over for me. First and foremost, as everybody knows, what's the question that we ask when Randy Vasquez gets on the mound? And the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left-handed bats in the Arizona lineup. So you already know that I like Arizona to score some runs tomorrow, even on the young goat Randy himself, who's coming off of a decent performance against Texas, but didn't really look good against Cincinnati, but looked really good at his home start against Kansas City. But we know that Kansas City can't hit to save their life. So, and then on top of that, not that the Padres are killing left-handed pitching. I don't really think you can trust this offense much, but I don't really think that Eduardo Rodriguez is going to continue to pitch as well as he has. I know that he got blown up versus Kansas City at home, but I mean, he looked good against the Miami, the White Sox, in Toronto. I mean, in Seattle. I mean, I know that the Padres offense isn't good, but I think that over 8.5 is a pretty good bet here. I've already bet this, but I don't expect Rodriguez to continue to go out there and pitch two-run baseball. So I know that he's pitching much better, but I do think that he can struggle against this Padres offense. That Arise is a lefty, Merrill's a lefty, Sheets is a lefty, Cronenworth's a lefty, Machado's been fine, Tatis has been fine, or been slow, but again, I think there's enough there to get over 8.5. Plus the bullpens both of them are.
The problem is, obviously, I don't disagree. It's kind of hard to argue with the Diamondbacks not scoring runs. It's also tough to make a case for the Padres to get to a lefty, and you touched on it. It's been a while since they've really hit up a lefty starter. I mean, there's a couple decent ones in there, but I'll pull up on the screen what I'm looking at so you guys can see it. I mean, these are the lefty starters that are pitched against the Padres and earned runs, hit. They're just not doing much against lefties. I guess Arizona, I don't know. The minus 125 on the road, like, do I really think the I think the Padres are the better team, so the lay minus 125 on the road specifically because of righty-lefty splits, it feels like a reach. I guess I'll put up an over, but I'm good.
Yeah, I get it. It's really hard to back them too with that bullpen. You never really know what you're going to get. That's what's hard. I wouldn't hate an Arizona team total over either. So Anyway,
TV Jones.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the price on this Arizona first 5. Padres just can't hit lefties. Eduardo, I guess he just got blasted by the here we go, result. Plus 100, Diamondbacks first 5, minus the half. Yeah, I mean, he just got blasted by Kansas City, rough one. But prior to that, I mean, he had three to 5 like solid outings. I mean, 2 earned, 1-0-1. Granted, were they against elite opponents? No, but can the Padres hit lefties? No. I mean, last 4 weeks versus lefties, I mean, they've been pretty rough. 90 WRC plus. I mean, they got where's the K percentage here? They only have an 18% strikeout percentage, 9% walk, but they're not hitting the ball hard. 27%. They have an almost 50% ground ball rate. Eduardo, I think he's going to bounce back. He just got shelled, but now you're going to a team that has really struggled with lefties. It would be Diamondbacks first 5 on the run line, or maybe even a first 5 team total under for San Diego. I want nothing to do with the bullpen if I'm backing Arizona. I just don't trust them whatsoever. But yeah, Arizona should score some runs off Randy Vasquez, and I think Eduardo is going to bounce back fairly nicely here. So just give me the first 5 and don't even bother with the bullpens.
Just a little midnight tidbit for you guys too. This Arizona Padres series is starting to turn into the Texas Seattle series that we always talk about, blind overs. 7 of the last 11 these two teams played, including tonight, have went over this 8.5 number. So usually when these two teams play, somebody is scoring runs or both teams are scoring runs.
That is the last game on the docket here. So betting league, there was no betting league today. We're picking it up right where we left off tomorrow. I didn't get it out in time, and so what we're doing is there's All-Star break next week. So this week of the betting league is going to go till like Tuesday until the All-Star break. So that's what we'll do. So we're picking up right where we left off. So if you were in the lead in first place, you're still in first place. We just missed today. That's how we're doing it. So I'll post the new league up in about 25 minutes.
You're gonna do an all-star, all-star game or home run derby show at all?
Man,
you don't bet those? Those are electric.
No, I have respect. I have to look
Jay Oscar last year.
I have to look myself in the mirror. I have to lay my head on the pillow, Trevor.
Oh fuck, I do too, and I love it. After my 11-1 Jay Oscar home run derby last night,
I do too, and I love it. It's TV Jones with his new camera. It's just coming with an all new angle home run derby props. All right,
hey,
everyone.
It's fucking electric.
I don't know. Maybe maybe I'll do a home run. The whole thing, I'm just gonna be like, I don't care. Those type of things, the home run derby, the dunk contest, they're for kids. The whole nothing baffles me more when people are like, "Oh, the dunk contest isn't like it used to be." Like, yeah, because you're not 14 years old anymore, you freak. Like, are you crazy? Like that it's for kids. Michael Jordan dunked from the foul line in the dunk contest. Every single point guard in the league can dunk from the foul line. It's not that the dunks aren't cooler; it's that you are now an adult. This is for kids. Yeah, never mind. But no, I will not be betting it. Everyone, enjoy your night. Hit me up with the Discord if you need me. I moved on to the Mac, so I'll be doing a deep dive on some Mac stuff all night. If you need me for anything, yeah, have a good one. Bet responsibly. See you guys tomorrow.